Hi everyone, welcome to the Tech Tuesdays webinar on Axon EDC integration overview. I'm Brinda and I'll be hosting today's webinar. Today's presenter is Amit Varghese, software engineer from the Informatica's global customer support team. He's got experience working with many customers to implement Axon EDC integration and troubleshoot or resolve any roadblocks encountered during the process, ensuring success in their product journeys. Before we start this webinar, here are some housekeeping tips. This webinar will be for 1 hour. That includes a 45 minutes webcast, and then we will move over to live for 15 minutes to answer your questions. You can post your questions in the Q&A box that you see on your screen. All dial-in participants will be muted so that the presenter can present without any kind of interruptions. The recording will be available in the Informatica Support YouTube channel and the Success Portal. The link will be emailed to you as well. You can also post your feedbacks and suggestions after the presentation in the survey that follows. The Tech Tuesday webinar is a webinar series introduced within the Success Portal. The Informatica Success Portal is a microlearning platform that offers free and unlimited learning to all registered users. The Success Portal will show up your success offerings, your customer success manager information, bookings available in the Ask an Expert session, and customized recommendation and content. Here are some other important links that you can go over later to learn about Informatica products, and that will help you in your product adoption journey. Over to you, Amit. Thank you.
Thank you, Brinda, for the introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, I hope you're safe, and I want to thank you all for taking time out of your schedule and joining this session. So I have divided this session into 3 parts. In the first part, we will understand why do we need to integrate Axon with EDC. In the second part, we go through some features available in Axon once you have integrated with EDC. And finally, we will show you a demo of the complete setup. So let us begin. Why do we need to integrate Axon with EDC? Axon stores the business metadata, while EDC stores the technical metadata. So assume we have a table with employees information. EDC will store the technical metadata for this table, which is what are the columns in this table, what are the data types of each column, and other such technical information. Axon, on the other hand, stores business metadata, like where is the data in this table being used, who owns this data, and other such information. So integrating Axon with EDC helps in giving users a holistic view and reduces the gap between business users and technical users. The way you need to understand this is, imagine you are a judge and you have just heard the prosecutor. It will be impossible for you to come to a judgment without hearing to the defense attorney first, because only then you get a complete picture. Similarly, integrating Axon with EDC gives you the complete picture. Business metadata is often derived from technical metadata. You need to know what the columns are before you can answer how the data in these columns are being used. Since EDC has this wide range of scanners to extract metadata from any type of data store, Axon can leverage this capability and load this data into its own database, and then add the business context to it. Hence, if technical metadata is already cataloged, then an integration between the 2 metadata stores makes it easier to derive the business metadata. Finally, from a governance perspective, integrating with EDC helps answer the following questions. Where does this data physically reside? What are the transformations that this data has gone through? Next, let us take a look at some features. Features to ease day-to-day access. We will discuss onboarding first. So only a part of the technical metadata is important to the business and can be considered as business metadata. Basically, technical metadata is reduced to form business metadata. Let me give you some examples. In the technical world, you might have staging tables, pre-production data stores, and columns which are simply flags to do some technical calculation. All of this data does not make it to the business world. Another example is there might be columns which are part of the technical metadata. However, they might be reduced to a single column as they might mean the same thing in the business world. Like if you have a table employees which has these two columns, ID and manager ID. Then from a business perspective, both of these columns mean employee ID, so they can be reduced to one column. In this way, we reduce technical metadata to form business metadata. Technical metadata in most cases have been cataloged much before business metadata. So onboarding reduces the repetitive work by using the already cataloged technical metadata to create business metadata. This process of extracting technical metadata and transforming it into business metadata is called onboarding. Now there are two ways in which we can do onboarding in Axon: manual onboarding and auto onboarding. We will discuss manual onboarding next. In manual onboarding, we manually link the data in Axon to the data in EDC. Linking can be done at resource level, parent level, or field level. When I say parent, I mean table or file level. So the resource is onboarded as system, the parent is onboarded as a dataset, the fields are onboarded as attributes, and it is more time taking than auto onboarding. However, it is more precise and it does not require any user action at the EDC end. So this is recommended for small scale integrations. Next, let us take a look at auto onboarding. So auto onboarding eases the process of onboarding by extracting technical metadata in bulk. Once we have enabled auto onboarding, the following will be created. The tables in EDC will be created as datasets. Similarly, columns or fields in EDC will get created as attributes. The glossary linked to this field in EDC will also get linked to the corresponding attribute in Axon, hence the attribute X glossary. The attribute gets linked to the field, and if these onboarded fields were linked in EDC, means there was a lineage in EDC for these fields, then it will also get created in Axon as attribute X attribute relationship. Next, let us take a look at why we need auto onboarding. So basically, if you assume that there are more than 5 million assets in EDC, and if we have to just onboard 1% of these assets in Axon, which will be 50k, so we have to create 50k attributes in Axon, and for these 50k attributes there might be 5k datasets that need to be created and more than 25k attribute X attribute relationships that need to be created. Hence, it is a scale problem. Auto onboarding tries to resolve this scale problem by automatically onboarding the fields into Axon which have already been tagged in EDC. Hence, we do not have to do the manual effort, and all the assets in EDC which have been tagged gets into Axon. Next, let us take a look at some of the configurations that we need to perform for onboarding. So, enable automatic onboarding. If you choose this option, the objects are automatically onboarded from EDC to Axon. So this is a checkbox, and if you uncheck this option, then auto onboarding is disabled. You can still do manual onboarding. Confidence score threshold. To perform auto onboarding, we need to tag the asset in EDC with an Axon glossary. This can be done in several ways, which will be explained later. However, there is a conformance score in EDC associated to each of these methods, which basically denotes what is the probability that the glossary tagged to the asset is the correct glossary. For example, any glossary which has been manually tagged to the asset has a 100% conformance score because it has been done by the user. So confidence score is a threshold to discover the objects from EDC. So if you give confidence score as 70, then any asset in EDC which has a linked glossary with a conformance score of more than or equal to 70% will be onboarded. Accept lineage recommendations and create links. This is a new feature in Axon 7.2. If you want to get lineage as well from EDC to Axon, you can enable this option. Accept onboarded objects. So by default, after onboarding is done, we can accept or reject the attributes that got created in Axon. This process is called curation. I will explain this process further in upcoming slides. However, if you do not want to curate, basically you have given a high confidence score, like 100%. That means any asset that gets onboarded has been tagged in EDC specifically by the user. So the curation has already been done at the EDC end. Hence, further curation is not required in the Axon end. So in such cases, we can set this option to true, and all onboarded objects will get accepted by default. Axon superadmin email. Here we need to specify a superadmin user who will be responsible for onboarding. So attributes, datasets, and the relationships that are auto onboarded will have the created by field as this superadmin's username. Configure onboarded attribute names. So you can choose to have either glossary name or EDC field name as the attribute name. If you select glossary name, the attribute gets created with the name of the glossary which was tagged to the field in EDC. The significance of this configuration is it helps in reducing the technical metadata. So remember how both ID and manager ID were employee ID for business? Similarly, if you use glossary name, all the fields which have same glossary under a specific parent will be reduced to one attribute in Axon, which will have the glossary's name, since you cannot have duplicate attribute names under a dataset. So if you want to get all the fields as it is in EDC, then you can configure attribute name as field name, else you can configure the glossary name as the field name. Now we understand the various options we need to configure for onboarding. Next, let us take a look at the prerequisites. So this is how you need to proceed to set up auto onboarding in Axon. First, load a resource in EDC with resource type Axon. This resource has to point to the corresponding Axon instance. Next, go to the corresponding Axon instance and in the admin panel, enable auto onboarding and specify the name of the Axon resource which was loaded in EDC. So this is case sensitive, so make sure you put the correct value. Once this is done, run the param sync for the changes to take effect and then go to manage catalog link section and link a system to a resource. This will be the starting point for onboarder. So the onboarder will only scan the assets under the resources which are linked to a system in Axon. Next, link the EDC fields to Axon glossary. Since you have loaded an Axon resource in EDC, you will get all the glossaries of Axon in EDC. So we need to link the fields in EDC to an Axon glossary now. This can be done manually or automatically in EDC. Onboarder will only onboard the assets which have a linked glossary in EDC. So now we understand at a high level how we need to set up Axon for auto onboarding. Next, let us take a look at how the onboarder works. So once we have completed all the prerequisites mentioned in the previous slide, we run the onboarder. The onboarder will first fetch all the resources which are linked to systems under Axon. Next, it connects to EDC and fetches all the fields inside these resources. It then filters out all those fields which do not have a linked glossary. So for a field to be considered for onboarding, it should have a linked glossary in EDC. And this linked glossary should belong to the Axon type resource whose name was configured in the Axon admin panel as part of the prerequisite. Now a column can be linked to a glossary in EDC in one of the following ways. You can manually add a business title for each column. This has a confidence score of 100%. Second, EDC suggests a column to glossary association via data domain, which means if a glossary is associated to a data domain, and this data domain is also suggested for a column, and user has accepted this association between the data domain and column, or user has explicitly linked that data domain to a column. Then glossary linked to that data domain is also linked to the column. Again, in this case, score will be 100% as user has curated this in EDC. Data domain is suggested for columns based on some data domain discovery rules. For example, you have a data domain called phone number, where the data domain discovery rule is the data should be a number with 10 digits. Now, if you have a column with 100 values, out of the 100 values, 90 are numbers with 10 digits. Then this column will be associated to the data domain phone number with a confidence score as 90%. And the glossary linked to the data domain phone number will get linked to this column with a confidence score of 90%. So the glossary which was linked to that phone number data domain will get linked to this column as well via this data domain, and it will have the confidence score of 90% because that was the confidence score of that data domain discovery that we did, right? Because only 90 values out of 100 were adhering to that rule, so we gave a 90% score there. Now if user has not accepted, then again it will have some percentage, and the percentage is greater than the confidence score, that confidence score threshold, which is configured in the Axon, then it gets onboarded, else it will not be onboarded. So now we understand why we require a confidence score threshold. Also in EDC, the column to glossary association is discovered based on name similarity and column similarity. So first let us understand what is name similarity. In name similarity, we match the name of the glossary to the name of the field, and based on how much it matches, we provide a similarity score, which becomes a confidence score. One example of this is, suppose you have a column with name EOL. So you have a column EOL and a glossary with name end of life. Then the column name is an abbreviation of the glossary name, and hence it will get associated with some similarity score, which becomes a confidence score. So what is column similarity now? EDC discovers the similar columns based on column names, column patterns, the unique values, and the frequency of various values in that resource. So similar columns are also discovered using the foreign key relationship. So you might have the same employee ID being referenced to in several tables. So these all become the similar columns. So if two columns, column A and column B, are 75% similar, then the glossary associated to column A will be tagged to column B with a confidence score of 75%. So now we understand all the ways by which a column can be associated to a glossary in EDC and how confidence score is being calculated. Based on this confidence score, if the association has a score higher than the threshold configured in Axon, then the column gets onboarded, else it gets auto-rejected. Hope that made things clear on how the onboarder works and how the confidence score is being calculated. Next, we will take a look at a new feature in Axon 7.0, which is auto lineage onboarding. Auto lineage onboarding is used to auto create attribute to attribute link based on the corresponding field links in EDC. It supports a single hop. I will explain that in the next slide. Automatic onboarded is not required for this capability but can complement it. So even if you disable the auto onboarding, you can still get the lineage onboarded. So user can delete the onboarded link and Axon will not onboard these links again. Now let us understand what does supports a single hop mean. So as you can see, these are the columns we have in EDC, column 1 to column 5. So only column 1, column 2 and column 5 are tagged to a glossary in whichever way in EDC. Okay, so hence only these three columns, column 1, column 2 and column 5 are brought into Axon as attributes. So we get attribute 1, attribute 2 and attribute 3 corresponding to column 5. Now since column 1 and column 2 are directly linked, so there is a single hop between them, right? Hence attribute 1 and attribute 2 will also be linked. However, column 2 and column 5 are not directly linked. They have multiple hops, right? They have like 3 hops here. Hence, attribute 2 will not be linked to attribute 3 in Axon. We will now take a look at some of the notifications. So if you have enabled the automatic lineage, then the dataset stakeholder will receive a notification for any new relationship created. However, only the target dataset stakeholder will be notified, and the UI notification will be sent, and all notification across datasets for a stakeholder will be aggregated in a single notification. Even without the automated lineage enabled, you will still get notifications, but basically these will be recommendations that you have these two attributes which are corresponding to the fields in EDC which have linked in EDC. So you can link these attribute to this attribute. So it shows that recommendation. It does not create the link automatically. However, it shows you the recommendation, and that recommendation you will get a notification for that recommendation as has been shown here. Next, let us go through curation. So once the assets are onboarded into Axon, the user needs to accept or reject whether they want to keep that asset in Axon or not. So this process is called curation. By default, the assets which are onboarded into Axon have a review status set to discovered. If the user chooses to accept that particular asset, then the review status gets changed to accepted. Else, if the user rejects it, then the review status gets changed to rejected. These are the places from where you can do curation. From Unison, you can do in bulk. From the glossary, you can do for all the attributes which are corresponding to that glossary, which are linked to that glossary. Similarly, for under system, you can do the curation for all the attributes which come under that system. Okay, and obviously you can do it specifically under the attributes tab in the dataset. So remember this: once an attribute is rejected, Axon learns that and does not onboard it again. So that completes the slides that I had to discuss. Next, we move to the section 3 of our session, which is the demo. So this is an Axon 7.0 instance, and first we will see how to do the configurations in the admin panel for the Axon EDC integration. To perform the configuration, you have to be logged in as a super admin, and as you can see, I have logged in as a default super admin. So I'll click on the user menu and then go to admin panel. Once the admin panel opens up, I'll click on customize and configure and then click on system settings. Once the system settings open, you can click on this drop down and select enterprise data catalog. So here I have already configured the EDC. So you have to provide the enterprise data catalog server host, the port, the username, password, namespace. So all of this is used to connect to that particular EDC instance. Next, you have to provide the enterprise data catalog resource name. So this would be the Axon type resource that you have loaded at the EDC end, which points to this particular instance, this particular Axon instance. You have to then set enable automatic onboarding to true or false. As you can see, we have set the automatic onboarding to true. As a result, assets will be automatically onboarded from EDC to Axon. The confidence score threshold has been set to 70 here. Means any asset in EDC which is linked to a glossary with a confidence score of 70% or more will be onboarded into Axon as part of the auto onboarding. Accept onboarded objects. So here we have set it as false, which means that once the assets from EDC have been onboarded, we have to manually curate it. So the assets will have the review status as discovered. So all the attributes that get created as part of the onboarding will have this particular review status discovered, and we have to manually curate it and either accept it or reject it. Axon super admin email. So here we have provided admin@informatica.com, which is the default super admin. Accept lineage recommendation and create links. We have set this to true so that even the lineage from EDC can be onboarded. Finally, configure onboarded attribute names. We have set this to physical field name, which means that when the attributes get created as part of the auto onboarding, it will have the field's name instead of the glossary name. So that completes the configuration. We will now take a look at the Manage Catalog Link section in Axon. So to access the Manage Catalog Link section, you have to click on Create and then go to Manage Catalog Links. As you can see, we will get two tabs here, Resources and Fields. You will only be able to view the fields for the resources which have already been linked to the systems. We do this to filter out unwanted fields. So for any field which you do not want to onboard or convert into a business metadata, we won't get those fields. We will only get those fields for which you have already linked that corresponding resource. To link a resource to a system, you can click on the particular row and then do right click and then do the manage linking. So make sure that you do not click on the name of the resource, click on the particular row, because if you click on the name of the resource, it is going to take you to the EDC. So click on the row, then right click and then do manage linking. Here you can select one of the existing systems or you can create a new system. So I'll be creating a new system here. You have to give a name and a definition. So once that is done, you can fill other details as well and then save. So the new system now gets created and the name starts reflecting here. You can then click on save to link that particular system to the resource. So once I linked this resource to the system, I will now be able to see the fields which are present inside this resource. Since the other resources are still not linked to system, I will not be able to see the fields for that. Now let's switch to the physical fields tab. I'll quickly describe what you are seeing on the screen currently. So here are all the fields that come under resources which have been linked to systems in Axon. This is the type of the field in EDC. So here, as we can see, these are all columns. The corresponding parent, so as this is the column, the table name is going to be displayed here. The resource name will be displayed here and the path in EDC is going to be displayed here. Status means whether that particular field has been linked or not. So if a field has not been linked, its status will be reported. Once you link a field, its status will be associated. You can even choose to ignore a field, in which case the status will be ignored. So ignored basically means you do not want to link that field and you do not want to see that field as well here. So you can put the status as set the status as ignored, and then you can even filter out with don't show ignored, like you can just select reported and associated so that you see only those fields. The glossary name which is coming here is actually coming from EDC. So these are the glossaries which have been tagged to these fields in EDC. Okay, and as you can see here at the end, we see email and its percentage is 50%. So this is basically the confidence score that we were talking about during the when we were discussing the slides. A tick mark here means that the user has already accepted this in EDC. So the curation has already been done for these in the EDC. Next, we will take a look at how to perform manual onboarding in Axon. To perform manual onboarding, click on the specific row, right click, and then you can either choose manage linking or manage parent level linking. So first let us discuss manage linking. Click on manage linking and select a dataset. So here, since I have just created the system, I do not have any dataset. So only the datasets which come under the system that has been linked to that resource will come under here. So since I do not have any datasets here, let's go ahead and create one. So we will quickly fill out the required details. We'll select some random glossary. And we'll save the dataset. Once the dataset has been created, we have to link the field to an attribute. To do this, we have two options. We can either select new from field, which is going to create that attribute with all the details as per the field. So the attribute name will be the field name. The glossary name will be the glossary which came from EDC, so which was tagged in EDC, and so forth. We can also select existing to link it to an existing attribute. But since I just created this dataset, I do not have any attribute here. I'll select new from field. Click on save once this is done. So the attribute gets linked to the field and the corresponding field has a status of associated now. So you can click on this associated and you can see the corresponding dataset and the system. If you click on the dataset, the dataset opens up and then you can switch to the attributes tab and see the corresponding attribute which has been created by linking the field to this. So this is the manual onboarding. So if you see here, the attribute name is the field name. It has already been linked to that particular field. The glossary name is the glossary that was tagged in EDC. So that is one way to perform manual onboarding. Next, we will look at manage parent level linking. So I've switched back to the manage catalog link section. Now here, you can click on any field again. So you have to click on the row, do a right click and then do manage parent level linking. So manage parent level linking is a new feature in Axon 7.0 in which you can onboard all the fields under a specific parent from EDC to Axon. So the parent can be a table, a file or anything. So I'm going to click on create to create the data set first. But before that, just note that the parent for these fields are customers. So customers is basically the table name here. When I click on create, it auto populates the name of the data set with the name of the parent. I'll just paste that to the definition and link a random glossary here. So now the data set got created with the same name as the parent. We are again going to choose new from field because we want to load all these fields into this data set as attributes. We are going to click on save. I'll now filter with the parent for which we perform the linking. So now you can see all the fields under that parent have the status associated. Again, you can click on associated and go to the particular data set. Once the data set opens up, you can switch to attributes. And you will be able to find all the fields created there as attributes. So those are the two ways in which you can perform manual onboarding in Axon. Next, we will take a look at auto onboarding. I have switched back to the manage catalog link section and now we are going to look at auto onboarding. So for auto onboarding, the first thing we need to do is we need to link a resource to a system. So we are going to use this resource company for auto onboarding, and we are going to link this to a system. I'm going to create a fresh system here, name it company. The system got created. I'll save this link now. So as I showed you before, I have enabled the auto onboarding in the configurations under admin panel. I have also provided the Axon type resource name which has been loaded in the EDC, and I've also linked the corresponding resource and system. Okay, so that is all that we have to do from the Axon end to achieve auto onboarding. Next, let's take a look at the EDC. This is my EDC LDM catalog. First of all, this is the Axon resource I have loaded. As you can see, we have 798 Axon glossaries. The name is Axon underscore demo, and this is the same name that I have provided under the Axon admin panel while configuring the EDC. If you click on this, you will get all the glossaries that are available in this Axon. Next, I will show you the company resource that I link to the system in Axon. So this is the resource company, and it has two tables, employees and customers. If you open the employees table, you see there are 5 columns here, and some of these columns are also linked to data domains. We'll come to the data domains part later. However, as per the prerequisites from EDC side, we have to load an Axon resource, which I have already shown you. And secondly, we have to link a glossary to a field. So we will first see how to link a glossary to a field in EDC manually. To link a glossary to a field manually, click on a particular field. Once the field opens up, you can click on Add Business Title. Here, select the corresponding Axon resource. So in this case, Axon underscore demo. Since I am linking phone number, I need to find the phone number glossary. And you can click on this tick mark here. Linked glossary will now show up as a business title on top of the field name. So that is how you can link a glossary directly to a field in EDC. Now we will take a look at how to link a glossary field via data domain. Linking glossary field via data domain involves two steps: linking that particular field to the data domain and linking that particular glossary to the data domain. Link the data domain to a field in EDC and run a scan with the profile run option set as data domain discovery. Let me quickly show you that in the LDM admin. So this is my LDM admin, and this is the resource that we are considering here, company. And under metadata load settings, you can check the profile run option. As you can see, I have set it as data domain discovery. The domain discovery type has been set to run discovery on source data. You can even run the discovery on the source metadata or on both source metadata and source data. The other thing which is important to note here is you can even select specific data domains. So in this case, I have selected these data domains. So the data that I am passing through is going to be compared with these data domain rules. Okay, so there is going to be this data domain discovery rules against which the data that I am passing through is going to be compared. For example, if it is an email, right? So for data domain email, the data domain discovery rule will simply be that it should be a string with one @ and one .com probably, right? So that could be a data domain discovery rule for email. Let me switch back to catalog. So here, as you can see, for the email field, the data domain linked is email and it shows 60%. So if you hover on top of that, it shows that data match is 60%, which means if I had 10 rows, out of 10, 6 matched the data domain rule, 6 adhered to that data domain discovery rule, and the rest did not. So that is why we get a 60% match here. From the onboarding perspective, 60% is going to be the confidence score for the glossary to field association via this data domain email. We'll now switch to the other table in the same schema, customers, and we will look at some more examples of this. So here, as you can see, address has been linked to data domain address. However, there has been no data match. There has been like 0% data match, and there is only a name match here. Similarly for email and salary. So currently, the confidence score for this for the glossary to field association via this data domain would be 0% because there is no data match here. However, user can choose to click on that particular field and either accept or reject that particular data domain. If user accepts that data domain, in that case, the confidence score will increase to 100% since the user has already curated in EDC. Curation can also be done by clicking on that particular data domain, opening up the data domain, and then clicking on all the rows you want to accept or reject. So let me select the salary and accept it. Now that covers linking a data domain to a field. Next, let's look at linking glossary to data domain, because to link glossary to a field via a data domain, we need to first link the field to the data domain and the glossary to the data domain. So we already understood how to link the field to the data domain. Next, we will understand how to link a glossary to data domain. So to link a glossary to a data domain, it can be done from both Axon and from EDC. So first let me show you how to link glossary to a data domain in EDC. So I'm opening this data domain address here, and to link a glossary to this data domain, just like we manually linked a glossary to the column, we can link a glossary to a data domain in EDC by clicking on Add Business Title, then selecting that corresponding resource, and then you can just search for that glossary name here. So since I'm linking it with the address data domain, I'll link the address glossary. You can click on the tick to save that. So now the linked glossary shows up on top of the data domain name. So this is how you can link a glossary to data domain in EDC. Now let us see how you can link a glossary to a data domain in Axon. So I am back on Axon, and this is the glossary that we just linked to a data domain in EDC. But you can link it from Axon also. To do that, click on Edit and go to the Edit mode. Once in the Edit mode, you can click on Data and then Domain Discovery Rules. So since I already linked this in EDC, it is showing up here. If you want to add any more data domains to this, you can click on that edit sign and then you can select that particular row. Okay, and then you can click on select. Since I've already linked the required data domain here, I will not proceed to link any further data domain to this glossary, and I'll close this. I've already linked the other involved data domains to the corresponding glossary. So email has been linked to email glossary and salary has been linked to employee salary glossary. As mentioned before, this link can be made in Axon as well as in EDC. Now we have covered all the steps to configure Axon and EDC for auto onboarding. Next, let us run the onboarding script and see the results. I have now logged into my Axon server as the Axon non-root user, and we have to go to Axon Home, Axon Asset Onboarder, Scripts. We'll now run the onboarder. So for the purposes of this demo, I am running it explicitly. However, it's already scheduled in the axon.jobs file. So once you enable the onboarding in admin panel, it is going to run a daily job at 2 a.m. So that is the default time. Even that can be changed in the axon.jobs file. And so basically that means that you can tag the glossaries to the fields in EDC one day, and the next day you will have all those assets onboarded to the Axon. The onboarding is now completed and we are ready to view the results. As you can see, I have searched for the system company in Unison, and we have two data sets that got created, and we have these four attributes that got created as part of the onboarding. The user whose email ID was configured in the admin panel can also view notifications. They have to go to the bulk upload because the onboarding spawns a bulk uploading job. So they can open a bulk upload and they can view this notification there. I will now give you a quick review of why these attributes got onboarded. So for employees, we got phone number, address, and salary. Switching back to EDC, we see that the address got onboarded because it had a data domain address with a data match of 100%. Because of that, the confidence score was 100%, which is more than the threshold. Remember, the confidence score threshold we configured was 70%. The same way, the email had a confidence score of 60%, and because it was below the threshold, it did not get onboarded. Name neither has directly linked a glossary, nor does it have a glossary linked via data domain, because it does not have a linked data domain as well. Hence, name did not get onboarded. For phone number, we had directly linked the business title, I mean the glossary, as a business title. So this has explicitly been done by the user. Again, the confidence score in this case is going to be 100%. Hence, the phone number got onboarded. For salary, it's the same case as for address because it is linked to the glossary via the data domain with a confidence score of 100% because the data match here is 100%. Now, customers, only salary got onboarded, and if we go back to EDC and click on customers, we see that it has address, email, both of which did not get onboarded because their data match was 0. So the confidence score was basically 0 here. Again, name and phone number did not have any business title nor a data domain. However, for salary, even though the data domain, via the data domain, the score was 0 because it did not have any data match. But since I manually went and curated it by accepting that data domain for this field, hence it got a confidence score of 100%. We will now see the process of curation. Curation can be done from the Unison. To
perform curation from the Unison, just select the required rows on bulk update. Mentioned before, the default status is going to be discovered. To curate, you can select on the review status and either select accepted or rejected, and then you can click on save and close. The same thing can also be done from the dataset. So this is the dataset employees which got onboarded. We'll switch to the attributes tab and we can see the attributes here. You can select on the corresponding attribute that you want to curate and go to actions, and then you can select either accept or reject. Same thing can be done from system and glossary as well. So one more thing to add here is, if you go back to the EDC, we can see that the salary in employees is linked to the salary in customers. So as part of the onboarding, you go to the relationships, you can see that the dataset employees and customers are linked, and if I put the overlay for linking attribute, you can see that the linked attribute is salary. Okay, auto onboarding automatically onboard the lineage as well from EDC to Axon. Choose to curate an attribute and reject it, the corresponding relationship will also get rejected. That completes the demo, and I hope the whole process is now clear to you. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the QA.
Please post your questions in the Q&A box and we'll try and answer them.
Okay, I see a lot of these questions have already been answered. However, I'll just, you know, go through the answers of a few of them. So first is, does EDC need to run on a different or the same machine as Axon? So we basically want to run EDC on a different machine. We recommend that the EDC is installed on a different machine rather than on the same machine. And the second thing is, same attributes could have varying meaning in different datasets if they are in different schema on same dataset. How do we enable schema-aware onboarding? Okay, so the onboarding does not differentiate based on the schemas. So if you want to have differentiation based on the schemas, you have to make sure that different resources have, like, each schema is loaded as a different resource, okay? So that the onboarder can create those separate systems for each of those schemas. Okay, I see a few questions are being asked now. Let me answer that. If the data was cleaned and rescanned, okay, in the email example, if the data was cleaned and rescanned and was not 80%, would this trigger uplift into Axon? Definitely. In the next, so when the next onboarder runs, it will check all those attributes. So the way onboarder considers assets in EDC is, what all has been already onboarded into Axon, it won't consider that. So filter out those attributes and fields. Secondly, what all has been rejected, onboarded into Axon and been rejected, filter out those. Thirdly, just consider those fields which have not been onboarded into Axon. So basically, in this case, since email has not been onboarded into Axon and now it has a score which is higher than the confidence threshold, it is going to be onboarded into Axon the next time the onboarder runs. And is this onboarding of objects and curation usually IT or business function? Okay, so that's a good question. So from the EDC end, relating the technical fields, because IT would have more knowledge about that, relating the technical fields to the corresponding data domains, I think would be an IT job. However, the curation which takes place in the Axon has to be a business function, because it's the business users who have to decide whether this field is relevant or not for this particular attribute. Okay, so it involves both IT and business. So at the Axon end, you have to perform the curation with the business users, and in EDC, the linking and the taggings can be done by the technical users. So how do you link assets in Axon that are not automatically onboarded from EDC? So if it's not automatically onboarded from EDC, basically it means that you do not have a glossary tag to that, or you have a tag glossary which comes under the confidence score threshold, right? So probably you might want to try the manual onboarding. So you can onboard it manually using the parent level linking, which is a new feature in 7.0, or you can do the for the specific field, you can go ahead and do the managed linking as we showed. If a column gets deleted in a table, what happens in Axon 6.3? In Axon 6.3, the field is still linked. So if it was onboarded and linked to an attribute, it is still linked to the corresponding attribute. Okay, so it stays there, and when you click on the field, it opens up a blank screen. So it's basically a limitation of the product in 6.3, and we refer to these links where the field or the particular resource has been deleted in EDC as orphan links. Okay, so if the link is still there, but that field or the resource is not there, we call it as an orphan link, and orphan links are automatically removed in Axon 7.0. In Axon 6.3, there is no job to automatically remove the orphan links. We have to manually remove it from the backend, which is done by, if you open a GCS ticket, it will be done by one of the engineers. What is the role of IT involvement here? So the first thing is IT has to do the part in EDC, right? So they have to load the resources. They have to do the part of tagging the data domains to the particular fields. Okay, so they can provide the configurations correctly, like the data domain discovery rules they can configure. Okay, and they have to be involved in the data domain discovery part, where the data domain gets related or gets linked to that particular field. Okay, but yeah, once it comes to Axon, it's all business. Okay, it's all the business users who are going to take it from there. So IT has to set up in the EDC, make frame the layout basically, so that these things can get onboarded. Because once you have done this curation part or this linking part in EDC, only that can be leveraged by Axon to onboard those particular assets. If you reject an automated onboarded asset in Axon, can you accept it at a later time? So this is a really frequent question that we get asked all the time. So rejection is so once you reject an attribute, right? So as I mentioned before, it gets marked actually in the database itself, like it's rejected. So it won't be considered. The only option then is that you have to manually onboard that particular asset. Okay, or else again, if you have a bulk of these, I again do recommend you to open a GCS ticket for this, because we can go ahead and change these things from the backend and set it up so that it is not tagged as rejected. Okay, how to capture the data types in the CSV file? Right. So onboarding does not, so how to capture the data types for the corresponding attributes in the CSV file captured in a file system resource. Um, so onboarding does not actually get the data types yet, but this is a good suggestion. We can take it as a feature request and implement it in the future releases. Currently, onboarding does not associate the data type or data length with the attribute. We have Axon 6.3. Should we upgrade to version 7 soon? Definitely, I recommend all users in Axon to upgrade to 7, because if you are using the EDC Axon integration, in that case, you might want to upgrade to 7 since it has so many features. The point here is you don't want to go through that pain that already many of our customers had to go through, and then they suggested us we need these features, and that is why we provided it in 7.0, right? So we might want to you might want to upgrade to 7.0 and then start with this process of linking fields, rather than going through the pain in 6.3 and then realizing that okay, we have such simple features in 7.0 to do it easily, right? So that is why, and since 7.0 is already out, so there's nothing stopping you from getting it, right? So please go ahead and upgrade to 7.0. For dataset and attributes in Axon, do you recommend a separate parent glossary? Okay, I did not get that actually. For datasets, Tamil, I did not get this question. For dataset and attributes in Axon, do you recommend a separate parent glossary? Could you maybe like reframe that question because it's not pretty clear? Separate parent glossary. Okay. So the thing is, the general recommendation is do not go for like framing the glossaries based on your data sets and attributes. So the glossary is a separate thing. You're documenting the concept, the business concepts there. So we should stop there. We should not think about data sets and attributes while you are configuring the glossaries. Okay. So I don't think data sets and attributes would have anything to do with whether it's like what the glossary is. Okay. So what if onboarded EDC resource is having data set which is already created in Axon? Will it get okay? So if the data set is already created in Axon, obviously it will be skipped. The data set part will be skipped. But if there are any new attributes which have to be added to that, because as there was an earlier question, right? Like the emails threshold, the score increased to 80%, and now it's part of the onboarding, right? So it is getting accepted in the onboarding, and it will be added to the data set. Okay. Please help with performance tuning techniques. Again, it's beyond the scope of this Palanival. So I would request you to open a GCS ticket. That's a technical ticket for this, so that we can help you there, because we need more information on what your server currently, what your resources are, what your system stats are. Okay. So I think Brinda, we have answered all the questions
Yes.
here, and right. 1 second.
Yeah.
So there is one
Yeah,
question
that's
from
right.
Shit. What if onboarded is having data set? Okay, so I think that is answered. So I'll mark that as answered. Okay. So
I hope we have
okay.
answered most of the questions, Amit. So
Right.
if
Just one
we
last
have to
question here.
answer,
I see some.
yes,
Right. Just
one
one last question here.
Go ahead.
Let me answer this.
Sure.
If a data set attribute is already established in Axon, will the auto onboarding will be able to pull the lineage information from EDC if the glossary linkage is done? Right. So you do not even need to do the glossary linkage in EDC. Okay. If the attribute is already there in Axon and it's linked to the corresponding field in Axon, next time you run the you run the onboarding, it will be able to get the lineage. Okay. Now, if the attribute is not linked to the particular field in EDC and you have just done the glossary linkage, then it again depends. So if you have the attribute name same as the name of whatever is getting onboarded. So for example, if you've configured field name in the configuration, okay, and the field name is matching with the attribute name, in that case, the attribute won't get created again. Only the lineage and the glossary link will get. So the attribute X glossary and the attribute X attribute will get onboarded. Similarly, if you have configured glossary name and the attribute name is same to the glossary name which is linked to the field, then again the same thing will happen. Okay, so you just need to make sure that the attribute name that you have created already is same as whatever you have tagged in EDC, the field name or the glossary name as per what you have selected. And if that is not the case, then a new attribute gets created. Okay, so right, I think that finishes the Q&A. We won't be taking any more questions. Obviously, you can you can ask any further questions in the forum, and we will be answering it there. Yeah, Brinda, you can take over. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are already over the time limit of this webinar, sorry. If you have any more questions, we'll surely be answering them after this webinar. Amit will take that up. Thank you for joining this webinar. Hope everyone is safe at this point. Thank you. We'll see you for the next Tech Tuesdays, and special thanks to Amit for this amazing webinar. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, everyone.